Hey YouTube, and this is Miniclip Angry with the new Oversoul update. Okay, so there's a new chart tree where you can level up, but at the moment it's quite hard, and the golden experience are mixed up. But there is a new snapshot button which you can click and like share it like over the internet on Facebook or Twitter. Just save it to My Documents or somewhere. You can also a PvP duo people, but it's not actually released yet, and there's a few new buttons. Okay, I'm just gonna show you how you a battle with the online battle. Okay, so I have 609 gold at the moment. Just gonna wait for it. Oh, and if you change character, the experience and the points go, so you have to level up each character, which is gonna be quite hard. Just gonna cancel this and do a PvE battle. Okay. So I have 609 gold. Okay, if I haven't mentioned, there's also a discard button, which you can discard your cards now. I don't really use defense, so I'm just gonna discard all of them. I leveled up my pirate, but it's quite hard leveling. I think leveling up a neutral person or a young paladin or something would be much easier. Okay, there you go. So I had 609 gold, and now it says plus 2 gold or plus 1 experience. So plus 2 gold. Only plus 1 because of the experience, so it's only plus 1 experience. It didn't add the gold. So the gold's basically your experience every time you get 2 or more. Well, you also should say SG at the bottom of your page, and it's basically soul gems which you can purchase with money, but not actually available right at the moment.